Hello YouTubers, Rogue Monkey Jr. here. Welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Monday. By request, the gun featured in today's episode will be the FAMAS. So the FAMAS is a French assault rifle. The one in the game is actually a variant of the three models that the French army uses. The FAMAS is also a bullpup weapon, which means that the magazine is actually fed from the back of the gun behind the trigger, and it gives the capacity to have the bullet go through the same amount of barrel length, but reducing the length of the gun, so reducing its weight, so it keeps the same muzzle velocity as a gun that has a really long barrel and has a magazine fed in the middle, but without the added weight. And it's more maneuverable since it is a smaller weapon. The max damage for the FAMAS is 24.5, and it starts dropping off at 12.5 meters, and it goes all the way down to 18 at 60 meters. It's a pretty standard assault rifle damage model. It has a blazing rate of fire of 1,000 RPM, and this is why it's so popular in Battlefield 4 for close quarter combat, because you're just going to be able to mow through your enemies with this gun. It's ridiculous. It has a muzzle velocity of 630 meters per second, and suppressed, that drops down to 360 meters per second. So, of course, being as this gun is primarily used for close quarter combat in Battlefield 4, you're not going to really have to lead your target, so you could put a suppressor on the FAMAS, and it would still be a pretty decent gun. It has a magazine size of 26, which, considering that its rate of fire is so high, it's kind of a small magazine for this kind of weapon. You're going to go through ammo like there's no tomorrow. You're going to go through 20 shots without even noticing that you actually burn that much ammo. So you're going to have to go through that reload animation more often than not. And you're going to have to time your reloads, because the short reload is going to take you a whopping 2.8 seconds to get that mag back in the gun. And trust me, you're going to be going through reloads a lot. And the long reload time is a massive 3.7 seconds. So, and you're going to be going through your whole clip. Like, you're not going to be able to, most of the time, even save a bullet to go through the short animation. And you're going to, have to time your reloads perfectly, because, or have a really powerful sidearm. I was using the Deagle in my specific setup, just because I like the 50 damage model on the Deagle, but you could also go with the G18 just to dish out a lot of damage really fast if you're not that accurate with your sidearm. But you're really going to want a high-powered sidearm, something that's reliable, because you're not gonna, most of the time you're not going to have time to reload between targets if they're coming at you really fast. And the recoil, this is where this gun is a mess. Not a mess, but it's hard to use because of the recoil. It has a recoil up of 0.4, which is not that bad. It has a pull left of 0.4 and a pull right of 0.6. That's a decent amount of recoil for an assault rifle, and where it really gets shitty is the first shot recoil multiplier of 2.5. This is ridiculous. Like, if you tap fire this weapon, forget about getting any kills with it. It's not gonna happen. You really got to use this weapon like burst fire and really full auto in close quarters. Medium range and long range, you're not going to be doing that good with it, because your gun is going to kick everywhere if you tap fire this weapon. Of course, I was using this weapon stock because this is part of the video series, and I can say the iron sights on the FAMAS are possibly the worst iron sights out of all the assault rifles for sure, and possibly even out of all the guns in Battlefield 4. These things they're just freaking massive. They're I'm pretty sure it at least blocks like 30% of your field of view when you are aiming down sight with the iron sights. Most of the time I was firing at my enemy and I couldn't even see what I was shooting at. I was just shooting because I knew there was somebody in front of me, but if he moved like 2 inches to the left or the right, forget it, I lost my target. And I was just burning through ammo for no reason using it stock. So this is one of the, don't use this weapon stock. As soon as you get any sight, it's better than having iron sights. I mean, a 4x scope would be better than using the iron sights on the FAMAS. This is how terrible they are. Moving on to the attachment part of the video for the FAMAS. As for the optics, you guys should be used to it by now. I always use the Coyote red dot sight, just because it's my favorite sight. I wouldn't see the purpose of putting a higher optic on this gun, seizing it. It's really a close quarter weapon, so putting something like that has a more of magnification than 1 or 2, I don't really see the point. So Coyote it is. For the accessory, I just throw on the gleaming laser sight just to get that added hip fire accuracy for close range if I'm not aiming down sight, although I do aim down sight a lot. but you really have to get used to turning it on and off just to not get spotted, because this happens to a lot of people. Their laser gives them away and they're like, how did you see me? Well, your laser was on. For the barrel, I don't put anything on here because it messes up your bullet spread, but although I guess you're not really shooting a very long range, you could slap something on here to help control the recoil, like the muzzle brake or the compensator, because since this gun, like I said earlier, kicks like a mule, like anything would probably help, but I perform fine with it with a standard barrel, and I don't really see the advantage of using these barrels, so I just stick with the standard. And for the underbarrel, I either use a potato grip or the stubby grip just to help with that automatic fire, because you really don't want to tap fire this weapon as little as possible, just because that first shot recoil is just gonna fuck up your aim like terribly. So I just use something to help with the full automatic fire of the weapon. Finishing up the video on some Operation Pardon My French clusterfuck gameplay. You can see that with the sights, it's like night and day using sights on this weapon compared to the other sights. I was just like tracking my targets so much better. I was getting like these consistent kills. I wasn't going through as much ammo. I was conserving my ammo a lot more because I wasn't firing bullets off into like nothing, because I couldn't see where my target was moving. But as you can see, I'm still burning through a lot of ammo without even like holding the trigger for that long. So the trick to this gun is really like conserve your ammo, try to be on target as much as possible. It's hard because of the recoil pattern, and have a really reliable sidearm, because you can take out 2, maybe 3 targets maximum with one clip if you're lucky, and if they're lined up. Like you can see in a part of my clip, they're going to be lined up. I'm just going to take out both of them, but you won't have time to go through that reload animation. It's too long. You're going to have to switch to your sidearm. It's absurd. And like I said, this gun is a close quarter weapon. Don't like try and be all cool and using this gun in medium or long range. Medium, it's doable if you really know how to control the recoil pattern, but long range, forget about it. You're not going to be doing any good using it long range. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all for today's video of Bare Bones Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and sorry for the sound at the end of the clip. I don't know, it sounded like I was underwater. It was all muffled. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below how you guys like to run the FAMAS, if you like to use it at all. What gun you would like to see featured in the next episode of Bare Bones. You can also send me a Facebook or Twitter message for those requests. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and until the next video, have a good one and take it easy.